Hi Katie, hi Lindsay, it's Wednesday and today I'm going to tell you about the Tour de France, which is a bike race and is epic. I'm going to give you guys some vocabulary words so you won't be totally lost when I start talking about this stuff. We'll start with the yellow jersey. The person in the yellow jersey is the one who is winning the Tour overall. He may not have as many points as other riders, but he has the shortest amount of time. Next is the green jersey. The green jersey is for the sprinters and is given to the fastest person on the Tour, and that is determined by a point system. Depending on the type of stage and how difficult it is to get to the sprint points, more points are earned for certain stages. Third is the white jersey, and it is held by the best rider who's under the age of 26. And last but certainly not least is the polka dot jersey, which belongs to the king of the mountain. So if you're a climber or a masochist, this jersey is the one that you want. And the last vocabulary word I have for you is the peloton. The peloton is the main group of riders that ride in the huge thing that take up the whole road. And if you see the peloton coming towards you, get out of the way, please. So now on to the teams, and I'm just going to use this year as my examples from now on. There are 22 teams of 9 riders, and each of the 22 teams represent one of 10 countries. If a rider's country isn't represented, they are allowed to be picked up by another team, even if they're not a citizen of that country. Team names are determined by who sponsors them, so you got a lot of funny names like Radio Shack, Movie Star. On to the race. In the race, there are 21 stages that equal up to 3,430.5 kilometers. There are 10 flat stages, 6 mountain stages, 3 medium mountain stages, 1 individual time trial, and 1 team time trial. Within the stages, there are a few sort of like intermediate stages, which are mostly for the people who want the green jersey and want to get extra points for it. Unless you're a sprinter or in need for 1,500 euros, you really don't need to be worried about these. Because there's upwards of about like 200 riders, you guys can't expect everyone to finish. Usually most of the withdrawals are during the mountain stages because mountains suck, but this tour has been a little crash happy. There have been so many crashes this tour, but normally like you think riders could get up and just like ride it off. But sometimes the crash is too bad and riders sustain injuries that are just too much for them to continue going. Unless you're Johnny Hoogerland and flying 40 miles an hour into a barbed wire fence doesn't stop you from racing. And now I'm going to tell you guys why I like the tour so much. Guys, a few days ago on stage 9, there was a huge crash. Like 6 people withdrew from the race or something like that, and it was crazy. On top of that, it was like every team leader from the tour, so naturally all the teams had to stop and like make sure their leader wasn't going to die in a ditch. When the rest of the peloton realized that, they all slowed down. I think the commentators I was listening to called it a truce. Earlier in the race, about 5 to 6 people had broken off from the rest of the peloton, but despite that, the peloton slowed down to wait for all the riders who had crashed to get back into the group. That is what I love about the Tour de France. The respect from the riders, for the riders, and it's something that I never see in any other type of sports. And like all of them are really good friends, it's so surprising. And following the riders' Twitters is like following bands that are on Warped Tour. Pretty sure I'm running out of time. Katie, I'll see you Friday. Someday. Lindsay, I promise I will not forget to upload your video on Monday. I promise, I promise, I promise.